Welcome to Psych Muse, philosophy that changes lives. Today we step into the world of Niccolò Machiavelli, a man often misunderstood, feared, and yet profoundly respected as one of history's most piercing minds. His name echoes through centuries, tied to cunning, power, and ruthless realism. But beyond the reputation, there lies a deeper wisdom, a lesson about strength, resilience, and the art of never letting anyone bother you. Why is this lesson so critical? Because in life, people will always test you. Some will provoke you out of jealousy, others out of insecurity, and many out of a simple desire to feel powerful in a world that constantly strips people of power. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He knew that the true battlefield of power is not always in kingdoms and courts, but in the human mind, in how we choose to react or refuse to react when others try to disturb our peace. In this video, we will uncover Machiavelli's teachings and translate them into the modern world, so that you can walk through life unshaken, untouched, and untouchable. We will move step by step, beginning with the nature of power itself, then into the psychology of human provocation, and finally into strategies you can live by, drawn from the mind of Machiavelli. This is not just about ignoring insults or brushing off negativity. It is about building a fortress of the mind, one so unbreakable that no outside attack can pierce it. Machiavelli reminds us that the strongest person is not the one who fights every battle, but the one who chooses which battles even matter. So lean in, open your mind, and let us begin the journey into the first two lessons of Machiavelli's philosophy on never letting anyone bother you. Part 1. The nature of power and control. To understand why you must never let anyone bother you, Machiavelli would first remind us to understand power itself. Power is not always about armies, thrones, or crowns. Power is influence. Power is control. Power is the ability to make others bend toward your will, or, at the very least, to prevent them from bending you toward theirs. When someone bothers you, when they provoke you, they are testing whether they have control over your inner state. The moment you react emotionally, you hand them a victory. You confirm that they have the power to disturb your peace, to shake your composure, to drag you down from your own throne. Machiavelli, in his The Prince, argued that rulers must always appear in control, even when storms rage behind the curtain. Why? Because perception is as powerful as reality. A leader who looks shaken loses authority. A leader who appears unbothered, even in chaos, commands fear and respect. Now apply this to your own life. When someone insults you at work, mocks you on social media, or tries to humiliate you in front of others, what are they doing? They are launching a test to see whether they can move you. If you flare up, if you rage, if you crumble, you show them that you are not the master of your emotions. They now own a piece of your power. But when you remain calm, when you respond not with fire but with silence, or with a measured word, you transform the battlefield. Suddenly, the one trying to provoke you is exposed. Their attempt to disturb you falls flat. They become small, powerless, desperate, while you stand firm like a fortress. Machiavelli would tell you, the man who cannot be shaken is the man who holds true power. The one who reacts to every sting, to every jab, to every insult, becomes a puppet pulled by invisible strings. But the one who remains composed, unbothered, is untouchable. This is the first truth. Never let anyone's words or actions dictate your inner state, because once they do, you have already surrendered power. Part 2. Why people try to bother you. Now let us move to the second truth. 1. Machiavelli understood from observing the endless rivalries of courts and kingdoms. People try to bother you not out of strength but out of weakness. Think about it. Why would someone waste energy provoking another? Why would they whisper insults, spread rumors, or try to embarrass you? It is rarely because they are truly strong. More often, it is because they lack control in their own lives. They feel powerless, and so they seek scraps of power by disturbing the peace of others. Machiavelli knew that envy, fear, and insecurity drive human behavior more than nobility or kindness. He saw rulers betray allies, ministers plot against princes, and friends turn into rivals, all not because they were overflowing with strength, but because they were plagued by insecurity. This truth extends into modern life. The colleague who mocks you in meetings, the classmate who tries to embarrass you, the stranger who leaves hateful comments online. They are not acting from a place of abundance. They are acting from a place of deficiency. By attempting to bother you, they are declaring to the world, "I am weak. But if I can disturb you, I will feel strong for a moment." Here lies Machiavelli's genius. He would say, "Do not waste your energy despising these people. Do not even grant them the satisfaction of being your enemies. Instead, see through them. Recognize their attempt for what it is, a desperate reach for control. And here is the secret. The moment you refuse to react, you strip them of the little illusion of power they thought they had. Silence becomes your weapon. Composure becomes your crown. Indifference becomes your shield." This is why Machiavelli insisted on understanding human nature in its raw form. Not as we wish people to be, but as they truly are. When you grasp that those who bother you are driven by insecurity and fear, their words lose their poison, their actions lose their sting. You see them not as giants casting shadows, but as small figures scrambling in the dust. The second truth, then, is this: never give weak people the power to disturb your peace. Recognize their attempts as confessions of their own weakness, and move forward unshaken. Part 3. The Art of Emotional Detachment. Machiavelli's Shield. Machiavelli teaches us a principle that few can master, but those who do rise above the noise of the world: emotional detachment. To understand this, imagine yourself as a fortress standing tall above the plains. Every insult, every criticism, every attempt to disturb you is like an arrow shot against your walls. If you rush outside every time an arrow strikes, you expose yourself. But if you remain within, observing quietly, the arrows break harmlessly against stone. Emotional detachment does not mean you feel nothing. It means you control what feelings deserve your attention and what feelings are unworthy of your energy. Machiavelli would say that rulers who react to every insult lose their dignity, while those who rise above the noise preserve their authority. The same is true for you. When people attempt to bother you, they are often aiming not at your body but at your emotions. They want to see you angry, embarrassed, or flustered. They want to drag you down into their storm. And here lies your weapon. Refuse the invitation. Train yourself to be unshaken, not by suppressing emotions but by mastering them. The Stoics, who Machiavelli admired in his own way, argued that the only thing within your control is your mind. Machiavelli sharpened this further. Your composure is your strongest form of power. When you remain calm, others lose their leverage. When you refuse to rise to their bait, you reveal that they are powerless. To practice this, think of every attempt to provoke you as a performance. Someone insults you? Imagine they are on a stage shouting lines from a script. Do you join the performance or do you watch from the audience untouched? Emotional detachment allows you to choose silence where others choose fury, stillness where others choose chaos, and remember, silence is not weakness, silence is strategy. Detachment is not indifference, it is strength disguised as serenity. Machiavelli would remind us that the ruler who appears calm, even when threatened, projects an aura of invincibility, and so must you. This is the third truth: practice detachment. Let others throw their stones, their words, their provocations. You will stand still, unmoved, a fortress against the storm. Part 4. Choosing your battles with precision. If you truly want to live as Machiavelli teaches, you must learn the art of choosing your battles. Not every attack deserves a response. Not every insult deserves your time. In fact, most do not. Machiavelli observed that rulers who fought every fight drained themselves of strength and appeared desperate. But rulers who chose carefully when to respond and when to remain silent created fear. People began to wonder, why did he not respond? What is he planning? This uncertainty is more powerful than any direct retaliation. Applied to life, this means one thing. When someone bothers you, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Does this fight bring me closer to power, or does it only distract me? If the answer is distraction, then walk away. In doing so, you deny your enemy the satisfaction of being acknowledged. But what if the attack is serious? What if someone threatens your reputation, your dignity, or your stability? Here, Machiavelli would not advise you to remain silent forever. Instead, he would advise you to act with precision. Strike only when necessary. Strike not out of anger, but out of strategy. And when you do strike, strike in a way that discourages future attacks. This principle is timeless. If you lash out at every insult, you appear weak. If you ignore every attack, you risk appearing passive. But if you calculate carefully, choosing to respond only when it strengthens your position, you create a balance of fear and respect. Imagine two rulers, one who answers every whisper with rage, and another who responds only when silence would cost him more than action. The second ruler is feared. The first is mocked. Which ruler do you want to be? In your personal life, the same rule applies. Someone mocks you in public. Ignore them and their attempt falls flat. But if someone launches a campaign to destroy your character or block your path forward, act decisively. Respond not with noise, but with precision. Respond in a way that ends the attack and builds your strength. This is the fourth truth. Do not waste your energy on every battle. Choose your battles as a ruler chooses wars, carefully, strategically, and with precision. In doing so, you transform every response into a display of power. Part 5. Turning attacks into power. Now we reach a lesson that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The ability to transform attacks into power. For Machiavelli, adversity was not something to fear, it was something to use. Every attempt to bother you is also an opportunity, if you know how to shape it. Think of history's greatest leaders. Many were mocked, insulted, ridiculed in their rise to power, but instead of crumbling, they used these attacks as fuel. They transformed criticism into resilience, opposition into strategy, insults into proof of their strength. Machiavelli admired this quality because it revealed not weakness but adaptability, the highest form of intelligence. How can you apply this? Begin by reframing every attack. When someone insults you, see it as evidence that you stand above them. When someone tries to disturb you, see it as confirmation that you are worth targeting. The dogs do not bark at beggars, they bark at kings. If people bother you, it means you matter. Second, use attacks as training. Each insult is a test of your composure. Each attempt to disturb you is an exercise in discipline. The more you face them, the stronger your mental fortress becomes. Just as a sword is sharpened by friction, your character is sharpened by resistance. Third, learn to turn the narrative in your favor. If someone tries to embarrass you, transform their attack into a display of your calmness. If someone mocks you, let your silence make their mockery look desperate. In this way, every arrow fired at you becomes another stone in your fortress wall. Machiavelli would insist, greatness is not found in the absence of enemies, but in the ability to rise above them. Enemies are proof of significance. Attacks are proof of relevance. To be bothered is to be noticed, and to turn that into power is the art of transformation. So the fifth truth is this: never fear attacks. Use them, transform them, let them sharpen you, strengthen you, and elevate you. The man who can turn every attempt to weaken him into fuel for his strength becomes unstoppable. Part 6. The Strength of Silence and Mystery. Machiavelli often reminded rulers that what is unseen is as powerful as what is shown. Silence and mystery are not weaknesses, they are weapons. For when people cannot read your emotions, when they cannot predict your reaction, they are unsettled. Uncertainty becomes your armor. Think about it. When someone insults you and you fire back instantly, you give them clarity. They know exactly where your buttons are, exactly how to provoke you again. But when you respond with silence or with a calm that feels almost unnerving, you confuse them. You deny them the satisfaction of seeing you shaken. You transform from an easy target into an enigma. Machiavelli understood that leaders who spoke too much, revealed too much, or reacted too quickly lost their power. Those who cloaked themselves in mystery commanded respect. Why? Because mystery breeds fear, and fear keeps rivals at a distance. Apply this to your life. When others try to bother you, give them no predictable pattern. If you always argue, they will expect it. If you always retreat, they will expect that too. Instead, cultivate unpredictability. Sometimes silence, sometimes a calm smile, sometimes an unexpected act of confidence. Keep them uncertain. Keep them guessing. Silence is not empty, it is full of power. Mystery is not absence, it is presence amplified. When people cannot read you, they imagine possibilities. And often those imagined possibilities are far more intimidating than reality. This is the sixth truth. Embrace silence and cultivate mystery. Do not allow everyone to see the depths of your thoughts or the limits of your patience. The less they know, the more they respect. The less they predict, the more they fear. And when they fear disturbing you, they will think twice before they try. Part 7. Building an Unshakable Inner Kingdom. Machiavelli's teachings are not only about rulers and politics, they are about human nature itself. And at the heart of his philosophy lies this realization. The greatest kingdom you will ever rule is not a city or a nation. It is yourself. Think of your mind as a throne, your emotions as subjects, your willpower as your army. If you cannot rule this inner kingdom, if you cannot maintain order within, then no outer strategy will protect you. The enemies outside are nothing compared to the chaos within. When people try to bother you, they are, in truth, testing your rule over your inner kingdom. Will you allow their words to overthrow your calm? Will you allow their actions to stir rebellion in your thoughts? Or will you sit firmly on the throne of your mind, unshaken, unmoved, commanding yourself as the true sovereign? Machiavelli believed that fortune favors those who are disciplined, prepared, and strong in spirit. To build an unshakable inner kingdom, you must train yourself daily, practice self-control, practice detachment, practice the art of silence. Strengthen your will as a ruler strengthens his army. When your inner kingdom is strong, no outside enemy can conquer you. Insults become noise, criticism becomes wind, provocations become powerless. For the walls of your inner fortress are unbreakable. This is the seventh truth. The ultimate power is self-mastery. Rule yourself and no one can rule you. Guard your inner kingdom and the world outside will bow to your strength. Ending. Machiavelli's final lesson, untouchable power. Now we come to the end of this journey through Machiavelli's wisdom, and the message is clear. Never let anyone bother you, not because they will stop trying, but because you will stop allowing it. People will always attempt to disturb your peace. Some out of jealousy, some out of weakness, some out of fear, but you hold the choice. Will you hand them the keys to your emotions? Or will you lock your fortress and stand unshaken? Machiavelli would remind us, power belongs not to those who control others, but to those who control themselves. The world respects the man who cannot be rattled, who cannot be baited, who cannot be dragged into petty battles. That man is untouchable. So let this be your lesson. Detach when provoked. Choose battles with wisdom. Transform attacks into strength. Wield silence as a weapon. and build your inner kingdom into a fortress. Do this, and you will embody the very essence of Machiavelli's philosophy: resilient, unbothered, and powerful beyond reach. Never forget, the strongest person is not the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who remains calm while the world screams around him. The untouchable one, the unshaken one, the ruler of himself. This is the philosophy that changes lives. This is Machiavelli's gift to you. And this is the path to becoming truly untouchable.